Greetings adventurers, Frost here, and today I want to talk about the Naxx solo farm. So we got to finally test this yesterday on the 21st on the Naxx PTR. Blizzard had the Plague Quarter out for about 4 or 5 hours, and we were able to get some testing in. I tested it for about an hour for the Mage solo farm, and this farm is 100% doable. You can do it solo. However, I think it'll be much better to do it duo because it makes your blizzard slows much more consistent, and it makes killing them much faster because they actually have a ton of health on this PTR. I have 50% additional damage, and it still takes a very, very long time to kill them. So I think duo will be the play. You're getting armor scraps. You're getting all the different scraps that you need for the T3 gear. So those are potentially going to be worth a decent amount. We don't really know, because on the PTR, they're dropping a lot, like a lot. So like raids will be getting plenty to be able to make their T3 pieces from their own trash farms if the PTR drop rates are accurate. If they're not accurate, and we don't get quite as many, well then maybe the scraps could actually be worth a decent chunk of gold. But the items that are really make this farm worth it are the BOP items. So you will post inside world or looking for group that you're selling these BOP items. They come in and they sit inside of the raid while you do this, right? They can sit right there in the center up by where Johnny McWeaksauce is. That NPC, he's not normally there, he's just there on the PTR. But they sit there, then when the item drops, you can ML it to them and sell it to them for thousands of gold. I mean, you're talking about best in slot Naxx items, right? There's weapons that drop, servo arms, so Alliance, you're going to be making out very, very sweet because human warriors are willing to pay a lot more for those, or even rogues. And then shamans will want them for like leveling in TBC, but they probably won't be worth as much. But we still have like the fire ring, and many other very, very good items that drop from there. So you can bring in like 5-10 buyers, like one for each item, and if any of them drop, sweet, you just made thousands of gold, right? However, I personally, I've cleared all the quarters that are available so far. I haven't seen one trash drop item, so I don't know how common the trash drops are, but I guess the rarer they are, the more gold they're worth anyways, right? So it's not really a big deal. Now I want to get into what you need to be able to do this spec, and this is really the only talent points you need. This isn't a fully filled out talent tree. You still have 11 points left, so you can kind of like spend it where you want, but these are like the required talents, right? I'd recommend getting 3 out of 3 in the hit just to make sure that your blizzard slows are more likely to land and they don't get resisted. Obviously 3 out of 3 blizzard and permafrost to make the slow stronger, cold snap in case you need like to frost nova more stuff, and then arctic reach and frost channeling are very, very big. Mana reduction cost and increased range on your nova, blizzard, and cone, those are very important. I normally just go down and get barrier just to make pulling it safer, because you'll see later inside this video I show you how you can actually pull the entire room, all 3 packs, and you can AoE them down all at once, and that's why I think duo will be the play. The other option, of course, is to go down the arcane tree, and you can get like arcane mind and get an increased mana pool. Really, do what you want. It doesn't matter as long as you have the blizzard slow. The mobs aren't touching you anyways, so barrier's really not that important. If the mobs touch you, they basically one-shot you. They hit for 2k and they crit for like 6k. So it's very, very dangerous farm. You cannot get hit. So now you can see I died here. This was actually my very first attempt at doing it, and I got them, I mean, down to 90%, right? Not ideal, but for my first attempt, I was like, oh, this is totally doable. Like, and like the start of the poll, it was like super scuffed and all that. So run back in. I had to delete my character and stuff because I needed spirit Zanzas and I ran out of spirit Zanzas, and yeah. But so I continued trying to solo farm it, doing 1 pack at a time to see if I could kill it. But then I realized, well, this is not really, there's no point in doing this. Like, you can definitely kill it as long as you're like really careful. And other thing, you're going to need a lot of MP5 gear, right? I forgot to bring Mage Bloods because I was just going to use Mage Bloods to make a replacement for like MP5 gear that I didn't have. But you're going to want to collect a lot of MP5 gear for this. The goal is to have enough MP5 so that during your rank 1 Blizzard cast, if you only cast it for 2 ticks, it ticks enough mana to refund the mana. You could probably get away if it does it in 3 ticks, like 3 ticks of Blizzard damage, because you're having to move so often. So yeah, your goal is to basically never have to run out of mana. I replaced that by just using mana pots on this because, well, it's PTR, so my mana pots don't matter. But obviously, inside of a gold farm, you don't want to be just chugging major manas. You replace that with MP5. Your spell power is not a big deal because Blizzard doesn't scale well off it. Also, you're going to want to have your T2 5 set. It helps a lot for this farm, preferably both the mages that you're running with. So yeah, I continue doing that, but let's go forward to where I figure out that you can do this 2 pull. See, so this gargoyle right here, he pats around the room. I just mark him and I start with a blizzard on this pack and let them get slowed by it so that a tick goes off on all of them, then blink past them. Now, I actually realized it's better to fire blast that pack on the right. You can also body pull it. Either way really works. And then you're lipping. I wouldn't really recommend ice blocking because they hit so hard that even if you take just a couple hits, you could die. Now, here I was under the impression that the gargoyle would not fall off. This was my first time doing it. I was just praying, please don't pull the gargoyle. Please don't pull the gargoyle. However, it turns out the gargoyle will reset the second he leaves that room right there. See, he reset, and he'll do that every time. So it doesn't matter if you hit him with Blizzard or what, he will reset. So I should have been blizzarding the mobs before they even left the room to make it a little bit easier, so that this doesn't happen right here. But then after I did that and I realized the gargoyle doesn't matter, it was like, oh, okay, pulling's easy, right? So I die here, obviously. But then that made me realize what I could do. However, at this point, I realized it was 1, I was raiding soon, and 2, I realized how long it was going to take to kill the mobs. Even if you got it down pat and we're going perfectly, it's still like probably like a 30-minute kill solo, and that's with a 50% damage buff. So duo is the way to go. I brought in a second person to do it with. We died the first time. However, after did the pull again, and we were able to get it down pat this time, and we actually learned, or here, let me show you the actual pull here, because this one was very, very clean for how I think you ideally want to do it. So Blizzard, as the pat's walking away, blink through, and you can get pretty close to that gargoyle without pulling it, and then you can see the fire blast into CS, lip, wait for them to gather on you, nova them, and these slimes are extremely slow, so you kind of just don't really have to worry about them. But they can literally one-shot you, like hit you for like 6k. So do not stand next to them when you're blizzarding and stuff like that. So we just double blizzard on that pack to be able to get nice slows on all of them, and then we continued on to just do this rotation of kite. Now, we did find out that if one of you dies, it doesn't matter as long as the other person stays alive. And it may actually even be better, because what you'll see here is I die at some point right about now. I got a little bit greedy and they hit me super hard, and then I health potioned, and then I think I got greedy again at some point with this clear cast maybe. I wanted to get a lot of ticks off, I think, and I got bopped. But the point is, when I die, Pagoda stays on the threat table. It's not a boss encounter either, so you can still enter the raid, right? So since he stays on the threat table, he has gathered like 5 minutes of damage doing threat, and now my threat is reset. So now when I come back, I can sit here and just permanently slow them, right? I don't need to kite with him or anything, which actually worked out in my favor since that was my last speed Zanza. So like running around was kind of hard, but eventually by the time we got him low, I started getting higher on threat, and then we started moving together. But we got this pattern down better, and this is the way you want to do it. So as you can see here, I just started blizzarding. Right as I start blizzarding, Pagoda starts moving. Then Pagoda stops right there. He starts blizzarding. Now I'm going to start moving and move ahead. And once they get close to him, I'm going to start blizzarding, and he moves. And this is the rotation that you're going to want to do. Just constantly going like that. He didn't want to go too far past me because he had aggro on all the mobs, so you don't want to like make them go at a super sharp angle kind of thing. But yeah, like doing this, just stagger, I move, you move, I move, you move, I move, you move. That'll give you a nice pattern that makes it super consistent. And if you have plenty of MP5, you can even use blink to be able to like get extra time in. Maybe for whenever you get a clear cast, so you can get a bigger blizzard off, like a whole cast of max rank or whatever, right? So yeah, basically kite in a circle and kill the ghouls. The last thing is that these things, the slimes, have a ton of HP, So I'm guessing for now we're probably not going to want to kill them. Like after you do this, you'll probably have one person kite them all, other person go and loot, and then you reset. However, it might be beneficial to kill them if, let's say, the slimes have an amazing loot table. Like if you look at BWL, some certain mobs and certain trash mobs drop certain trash items, while other trash mobs drop other ones. So like if the slimes drop, for example, the servo arms and the ghouls don't, or like the ring and the ghouls don't, like you're probably going to want to kill those slimes for the chance at those items, because those items are insane. Or maybe you can base it off of who's in your group. No one inside the group needs items that drop off the slime. Well, then we'll just keep resetting for the ghoul, or however you want to do it. You won't really come close to hitting hourly dungeon cap, I don't think, unless you brought in like a third, fourth mage. Maybe like a warlock. I mean, I don't know what you could bring in. You could bring in anything that can AoE, right, that won't cause a ton of threat. Or even if they do cause a ton of threat, they can like sit there and AoE until they rip aggro, die, and then they can run back in and have no threat, do a fuck ton of AoE until they rip aggro again and die, and they can keep doing that over and over again, potentially, to make it faster. Or if you have multiple accounts, maybe. But I wouldn't want one of these mages having to do this to also having to like do other AoE at the same time. It would probably get pretty dangerous. But yeah, I will definitely be coming out with another guide once the farm is actually out and I get more than just like an hour to test it. But I mean, when I'm able to kill it already within an hour, you know I'm going to be doing this immediately when Naxx comes out. Well, at least after I finish clearing it on my warrior, then I'll log over to my mage and start farming insane amounts of gold, because this has the potential to be thousands of gold an hour. It just depends on how often you get those drops, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all on Azeroth.